Yo, welcome to today's live stream.
Hey, give me 1 second to hop. I'm gonna hop on.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm doing my intro, so yeah, it's fine. So yeah, welcome to today's live stream, or the second live stream for today. Earlier today, we had a conversation with Chris and Pratik on just stuff, and the second stream is going to be showing Pratik, and I guess you all, how to use Ecamm to do live streams if you're on a Mac. So I do have Pratik here. You all should be able to hear him already. Let me go ahead and turn down my music just a little bit more. All right, and let me get you up. So we'll do, oh, and I guess I need to fix the scene from earlier today. Let's see here. All right, there we are. Yeah.
Hey,
What's up?
how you doing?
I am tired. It is it is so hot outside, man. Like I went to
it?
Yeah. It's like, hold on, let me see what it is. I know it's over 100. I know that.
Oh my God.
It's humid out
I
there.
do not. Yeah, we didn't have much of a summer here in New York. Luckily it wasn't too hot.
Do you speak Celsius? That's what mine is in Celsius. It's 40 degrees outside right now.
That's pretty hot.
But the real feel, oh well, now it's lower. But earlier, let's see what the real feel was earlier. 42.
That's
42.
42. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
That's like 107.6. Oof.
Yeah. It's like it's even hot in here. I have my AC on at like 70. Typically, I keep it at 72. And
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yo, what's up, Dimitri? How are you? I think you missed. There was an earlier stream today. This is .2. I just updated the title. I realized that I forgot to put the .2. So there's an earlier stream today. It's about 3 hours. Highly encourage you to go check that one out. Like,
It was a good one.
yeah, lots of learning. I think we all learned stuff for that one. Like all three of them. I imagine people who are watching, if you didn't learn anything, well, like first hit me up, because like that means that you know a lot of stuff, and I would love to chat with you. You know, see.
Yeah, we'll get you on the stream.
Yeah, you can share some of that knowledge. But yeah, so today we're gonna play around with Ecamm and see what we can get accomplished. Wait a minute, let me do this. Yeah, so I think that what we should do is we should have you share your screen.
Okay.
But before we do that, I'm gonna have to show you how to share Ecamm, because it's
actually that's what I was gonna say. I was thinking of switching over my video input to the Ecamm Live virtual cam.
So I would recommend sharing your screen in Zoom to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did do that right now.
Oh, you're sharing your screen. Oh, okay.
No, but so I can, if I do, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because like now, if I go to share screen, do you see yourself?
Yeah, I see myself. So, you only have one monitor.
I only have one monitor. Yes.
So okay.
But I have it set so I'll only show my active tab, my active window, I guess.
That won't work. You're gonna have to show your screen.
Your full screen, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show your full screen. So what I would recommend is just minimize, us, like, our video or whatever. But yeah, I'll work with you before I post it up on the screen where everyone can see it on the stream. Okay. So but before we do that, I want to show you how to like go about it. So I'll show it off right quick. Give me one moment. I'm gonna share my screen. Let's see. Oops. Oh, I almost canceled the meeting. I should be using my stream deck. I actually configured all this on my stream deck, and I just haven't gotten used to using it for Zoom yet. You should be able to see my screen, right?
I do, yeah. Nice gradient.
Oh yeah. Well, so if you were to look on the stream, you'll notice that it's different. Let me do stream guests.
Oh, let me go to
Yeah.
stream then.
Yeah, well, you'll see it pop up in a moment. It's still on us on the stream, but eventually you'll see it's just me and you on a black screen. So
Yes.
you see my actual desktop. Everyone else who's watching the stream, they never see my actual desktop. So
what is that black screen then?
that's Ecamm. That's what I'm about to show you. Yeah, that's what I'm about to show you. So you're gonna see Ecamm first. You're gonna see it in Zoom, but you won't see it on the stream. So
Yes.
I'm gonna show you how to get it to where you can see everything, and I gotta move everything over. And this is gonna make my life a little hard, but we'll deal with it for now. We'll also move interview mode to here. All right. So for those of you who
By the way,
watch
there's a
those-
guy on YouTube and he has like really great Ecamm intro videos. I was kind of binging on them a little bit
Is he
earlier.
the guy that he's the guy that he's an affiliate, right? Like he's one of their advocates or whatever.
His name's Adrian Salisbury. His account's called like Adrian Salisbury Training. And I kind of got the idea of like project scenes, overlays from him, and then some of the settings, and he did a quick walkthrough of the windows. So yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Wait, I'm sharing. Okay. All right. So you see what I'm sharing now. So if you go into your system preferences, command comma, go to screen sharing, and then you'll do show everything when sharing the entire screen. So you'll see here, I click that, and then on the stream, you'll notice that like now you see the Ecamm stuff that I'm generally managing off over here on the side. So for those of you who are, yeah, this is what I see.
Yeah, I'm tempted to hold off on that for two reasons. One is my monitor is extra wide, so it's gonna look really funny if I do that.
I wouldn't worry about that. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
All right.
Plus, my resolution is higher than yours, so technically it will look fine for me. And if it looks fine for me, it'll be okay for them. If they can't see it, that's okay. It's fine. It's all right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stop sharing. You know how to do this now, right? Like, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And I guess I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna change this back before I forget. All right. So then stop sharing my screen, and then your screen is currently on my side monitor. So like once you share your screen, we'll get it organized first, and then I'll move it onto the stream. So let me go back to just me and you for now. And yeah, let's get yours set up.
All right. So let me just close out a few things real quick.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
So your AC is like not working? Is that what it is?
No, the AC is working. It's just hot.
It's just
It's like,
still too hot.
I have so it's hard for you to see, but like I have floor to ceiling glass windows, and there are a lot of them. So when the sun's setting, I'm facing west. So during this time of the day, the sun is it heats up my entire unit, and then on top of that, it's hot outside. So
Okay, I see that.
yeah, but fortunately, I mean, it never gets too hot because the building in general is AC. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Let me make
No
this
worries.
smaller right quick.
Let me do the last few things here.
All right. Yeah, so for those of you who are watching, tuning in today, I'm going through Ecamm with Pratik. He just recently got it after a recommendation, and we're going to try to
And I am loving it so far.
yeah, we're going to go, I guess we'll go deep. Well, I don't know if we'll go deep. We'll go into what I know, which I know quite a bit about it now because I've been using it for about 3 years now. And I've come across all kinds of issues and had to solve all kinds of things. All right, so
Okay.
I see you. You're
See
up.
my screen?
Yeah, I see you. You're up, and I'm going to share it on the stream now. You ready?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
So then let's go to our thing here. Let me make sure we're good. So if you go and look on the stream, you remember how you're like it's going to look weird, and I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, let me go check that real quick. Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Uh huh.
It's a little tiny, but it's not bad.
Well, I'm on my iPad. It looks good to me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
I dig it.
do you have? I'm curious. Do you have YouTube Premium?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so my streams are in 1440p now. So if you have YouTube Premium, you can go into the settings and select 1440p, and you'll notice that it'll look a lot clearer.
If I go into the settings.
Oh, it may already be that way for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's already that way for you. Okay. Yeah, so this is also for people who are watching live. Just keep in mind that, oh, wait a minute. Before we get too far into the weeds, let me move Ecamm stuff back to where it's supposed to be for me, which is on my side monitor. All right, give me a second, y'all. All right, where is it at? Here we are. Move Ecamm over. And I have like a specific layout that I keep things in, as well as, I have the stream deck. And I find that having things consistent makes life so much easier. Like,
yeah, I need to get my stream deck set up. I feel like I had the software, but maybe not on this computer.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to get some of that in here as well.
Okay.
Okay. So we're back to you now. All right. So you said that you've already been playing around with scenes or whatever, but I'm going to wait. You're not using Ecamm as a virtual camera right now, are you?
I might have switched it over. Yeah, let me switch back.
Yeah. For a reason.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to close this out.
Oh, and for anyone who's in the chat, if you have questions about whatever, just ask it. I'll be monitoring chat as we go.
Cool. I'm switched over now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So, it sounds like you already know a lot about, or I guess you have a idea of all of the things that you could do.
Yeah, I wanted to come like a little bit prepared, so I wasn't like totally like, what is this? But I don't have too much of a, like, I know there's like these profiles, so you can set profiles for different like use cases. Like if I'm doing like a webinar or a Zoom call or a podcast interview, I can have like different settings in here. So that's like the high level bucket of like settings. And then within the profiles, I can have scenes, and scenes are just like different views that you have set up. I can even have like an iPad like plugged in and like have that as a scene, and I can kind of jump between them. And then overlays are like things that show up on the scenes, like logos, my name, like anything like that I want to play around with. And seems like you can have them show up in all the scenes or just in certain scenes. And I don't know if like overlays can be decoupled from scenes and profiles. Like, I'm sure I can probably use the overlays across different profiles and stuff too. I just have to import it.
We're going to, all right, we'll get into all of this. So let's do the first things first. All right, so let's first create a new scene. And to do that, what I would prefer you to do is just duplicate your current scene, which is the second button, that second icon, which the two squares that are interlinked at the bottom of your scene.
Oh, I see it now.
There you are.
That's
so,
it now.
All right, so now this is the scene that we're on. You can call it whatever. And go ahead and go to Ecamm, like hover your mouse over it.
On Ecamm.
Yeah, here. All right, so a scene, there are three different things you could do with a scene. You can either have it show a camera, and if you see if you move around that it could show your FaceTime camera or your Cam Link or however many cameras you have. So like what you're saying, you're right. With a scene, it's literally it's a view. It's like a state. So whatever you see here, you can save the state of that view as a scene, and you can move in and out of them. So go ahead and click on the screen icon at the top of Ecamm. This is the mode switching. So this is going to allow you to share your screen. And if you move your mouse down to the bottom of Ecamm, you'll see here that you have it showing that's your current application. If you click that, you can have it to where it'll show your entire screen. You can select the application you want it to show, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so go ahead and do current application, and then let's open up, I don't know, open up something that you don't mind sharing, like, I don't know, maybe code, maybe a Visual Studio Code, or that too. All right, that works too. So you see here how it's showing just that application that you have selected, and if you were to select another application, it'll show you that other application. All right, so yeah. And what's cool about this view is that it keeps things pretty tight and focused. And if you move around the window, it'll move around on your screen, and it's kind of a cool effect. If you see how it like moves around on your screen.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why it's doing that is because you have the option selected to zoom in. So if you go back to Ecamm,
and the cool thing is if I open another window, like it'll expand to fit both of them. You see that?
Yes. But it's a cool thing, but it's also a bad thing if you have multiple monitors. Because if you have multiple monitors, the background is going to turn white. So then you'll get like these squares, and like it'll be the aspect ratio of your current monitor, and then the aspect ratio of your other monitor, and you'll see white, and that's
no good.
Yeah. Okay. So the way I fix that is I don't do the zoom in to window anymore. But it's really good. It's awesome when you're on a MacBook Pro and like you don't have any other things going on.
Yeah, and it's also good if you're like recording, like say I'm recording like a video tutorial for somebody, I want to send them. I can have it just zoomed in on VS Code, and they can get like
there's a yes and no, right? So if you are doing let's say it's zoomed in, it's not going to how do you explain it? It's literally zooming in, it's cropping in. So you are losing detail that way. There's an alternative way, which is you record in 4K. And you can actually get more detail that way. So if you're showing text, for instance, and you're doing it on a high resolution mode like 4K, then it's better to do that in post.
Oh, okay.
Right. But it depends, right? Like it depends. There's no right or wrongs. It's just trade-offs and how much effort are you willing to go through to get a particular result. Yeah. What you're doing, fair. I would actually say that's the easiest. What you're saying, do it that way. All right, let's go back to Ecamm, and I want you to click on that little checkbox that says Show Zoom Application. That thing, right? The little checkbox at the bottom.
Oh, show zoom now.
So you see, this will only show the current application that you have selected, but it'll show it in relation to your entire monitor. So as you move it around, it's moving around on the scene.
Got it. So I can see it solos the current window, but it'll keep the context of the whole display.
Right. Now, Another thing that's cool, keep it on your zoom. Yeah, keep that. All right, now if you are you on a mouse or are you on a trackpad?
A mouse.
Okay, so scroll up on this view here. Just scroll the mouse up, and you see you can zoom in to wherever is on your mouse. So if you zoom around, you can actually find the content that you want. All right, so
that's cool.
Yeah. So this is a way if you wanted to like really zoom in and show something in particular on a live stream. You just go and zoom into it, and it's really easy. It's doing the same thing as the zoom to app windows, except this allows you to control where your zoom happens, where it takes place, and how much of it happens.
Nice.
All right. And then the next one, we're not really going to get into it because we don't have any media planned. But the video, this is where you're able to, play a video.
Gotcha.
Something like that. All right. So let's go to the top, to the menu bar, your top menu bar, and you see where it says scene. What you can do is you can have a blank scene, and I wonder if you go to camera, maybe it's in camera. Oh, source. I think I saw it. I just saw it blank.
Yeah.
So this is how you're able to create, like, it's almost like a canvas where you can build a scene from scratch, and. Our live stream that we did earlier, that's how it's built. Like, it's not a source or anything. I'm building that manually, right? The reason why you may want to build it manually versus keeping it as like, I guess just in Ecamm, is that maybe you want more control over where things are laid out and how things are laid out and what's shown and when it's shown. So we'll get into that a little bit. Actually, we're going to do that now because that's where it's the easiest way to learn how this works is Command Shift B.
Command Shift B. Oh, B.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
All right. So what we're going to do, that was PIP mode. I actually don't use PIP mode because I use overlays instead. You get more control. So let's add an overlay. In your overlay section, let's add a background image. So click that first. Actually here, what I'm going to do is this. Give me a second. Annotate. So I should be able to like laser on your screen. Maybe.
You should be able to?
Yeah. Do you see that? Do you see my mouse?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to have to freaking... All right, dang it.
How would I see it? Like through Zoom?
Yeah, it's on Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah, so like, you see that?
Oh, yeah, I do see that.
So I was hoping that there was a laser mode. Yeah. Oh, if you look at the stream, you can see how to do that, by the way. You'll see the zoom settings in stream.
Oh.
The stream. Yeah. So I'm gonna clear all drawings. I thought there was a laser mode though. I guess not. Interesting. All right. Cool.
Oh, I see it up there.
Yeah.
What's maybe draw?
Well, no, not for you. This is for me. This is so I can show you things.
Yeah, I know. I wonder
pointing.
if draw had like a laser mode kind of thing under in it, but I guess not.
All right, well, I need you to do me a favor. Like, try not to have the stream because it
people are gonna get a headache.
Well, yeah. Also, me. Whatever you're seeing, whatever they're seeing, I'm seeing.
Oh, true. Right.
All right. So, let's go ahead and add a image, the background right there, and just go. I don't know. You can go to your wallpapers. Do you know where your wallpapers are stored?
No.
They may be in.
Why can't I type here? Let me see if I have like a screenshot I could use. Actually, this is risky.
I would recommend go to your wallpapers. You can just find or download one. Download a wallpaper. Download some type of background that you're not going to be upset with using.
All right, let's go download the wallpaper. Sure, whatever. Let's get this tiger.
Let's get some less busy because we're gonna be putting text and stuff on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So this wallpaper is gonna serve as your background. So maybe something dark, but that's not the right aspect ratio. We want widescreen for your.
Let's go to Unsplash. They have better stuff here. Wallpapers.
Does it have an aspect ratio filter?
I think when you select it, these are like super high res, so you can kind of like pick it.
Okay. All right. Well, just get one that's dark. Oh yeah, like that one. The one that the phone booth maybe that's dark enough. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Download free.
Oh, they took this on an A7 IV. A7 M4. Wait, ICLE A7 M4. Yeah, I think that's the A7 IV. By the way, if you're interested in an A7 IV, I have one for sale. I just got my A7 R5, and I'm just like,
Oh, how do you like it?
I love it. The A7 IV, my issue with it is that it's not geared for photography. It's a hybrid camera, but it's more focused for video people. I'm like, as someone who owns a actual video camera, I'm like, I want a photography camera. So this one is better. I can flip the screen up and not have to flip it out. That's it.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. But it's not as good as the X-T5 that has the portrait mode where you can tilt it up. So it's a compromise. Also, the screen is ugly and juts out, but we'll get into that later. All right, go ahead and turn off your PIP. We're not going to use PIP for this. And actually, I wish I knew how to do that. I don't know how. I don't use PIP.
Oh shit.
Oh, so in order to delete, what you could do is you can take a scene and drag it to that trash can. So I'll point to it. So like you take that and you can drag it to the trash can and it'll delete those scenes for you.
Where's the trash can?
Look on the stream eventually. Oh no, I'm sorry. Look in your Zoom. It's on your.
Oh, like that icon right there. Yeah.
But for the scene, because you created a bunch of new scenes.
Oh, because every time I hit Command B, I create a new. Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Yes, I was just saying how to delete it because
there's gotta be an easier way. You can't like hit delete, I guess.
Here's what I've learned to not do, and you'll learn this the hard way. Try to avoid using shortcuts because sometimes the shortcuts are clashing with your apps.
Yeah, because it's such a light overlay. Like sometimes you can accidentally do it on the wrong thing.
Yeah. So I try not to use shortcuts at all. If you hover your mouse over your picture, maybe it'll show PIP mode and you can like take it off. Here, let me show you what I mean.
Right here. Yeah. I see it.
All right. Okay, so we have a background. I'm clearing my drawings for you. All right, so we have our first overlay. Now, here's what we can do. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to have this overlay in multiple scenes. All right. What you could do is you can click on, wait, let me move the thing here. So you can like drag it to here, show in background. All right, so now this is going to be the background of your overlay, and you can also have it where it'll show in all scenes, but the background will automatically do that, I think. And if it doesn't, then we'll just move it. So now we have your background scene.
So what's the difference between showing background and showing all scenes?
Showing all scenes will literally show it in all scenes, and I think showing background will make sure that it's in the background, like it's the bottom layer.
Oh, okay, so other things can go over it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It's also a layered system, so whatever appears on the top appears on the top visually. Whatever's on the bottom is on the bottom visually. So okay. We're going to experiment with that soon. So let's create our second overlay, and I want you to click the text one, which is this little T right there. All right, so now you could just throw in some text. I don't know, put in something that you want to see. And let's select a dope font. So sure, you could just select Helvetica and your typeface. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say font, your typeface.
When you say dope, do you mean like dope or dope?
Something that you love. How about that? Something that you like. You can do whatever. Like I'm not gonna put any input here. I do have like custom fonts on my, I haven't used them yet, but I have like actual fonts that I've purchased. So like you can do the same, and like whatever, it'll appear here, and you can
try something crazy. Yeah, let's go. Let's make it memorable. Oh, am I doing the background? Oops.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. So whatever. click the background. Yeah, that thing right there. And if you select the color, well, yeah, there you are.
Let's color. Okay.
So
a purplish background, or yeah, let's go yellow then.
Here's what I did when I was thinking of colors, is I have my brand colors, which is the blue and blue and yellow, whatever. I have that as just a swatch in like a file, and I use the color picker to then just select it. That because you can't just enter in a color. Like, I mean, you would think you'd be able to do that, but you can't. And I see that you notice that there's effects here, and you have that light glow.
Yep.
But I want you to go back to your color, and let's do something before we finish out on here. If you should be able to click on one of these those, no, not that, the squares. Just click on the square.
Squares, right?
Yeah,
I tried.
It's not doing it.
No, I have to drag it on.
Oh, okay, well there you go. So now you won't have to do this in the future. So if you want to use this color elsewhere, you just come here and you'll select it that way.
Yeah, that's handy.
And then the next thing is you can adjust your font size if you like, or if you're happy with this, just go ahead and click add. And now you can move that around.
Is it glowing?
Yeah.
I guess it's light glow. It is pretty light. Or maybe because it's so big, like the glowing doesn't scale with the text size.
Well, it's not like a glow to a radiance. It's just only around the actual glyphs, and it's relatively light. But there are other ones that we can get into. So let's add another text, and I'm going to show you how to add a timer.
You know what's interesting? When I do this wheel, the mouse scroll wheel now, it scrolls the font, but not the background.
Yeah, that's because you're selected on the font right now.
But even if I, like, say I'm unselected now.
Now select the background in your overlays.
No, like, you know how you were saying before in the scene, I could zoom in, like, say if I was showing my window.
Oh yeah, that's your screen. That doesn't apply to camera sources, which that's just your screen. Your screen.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and add another text, and there's more effects here for that. All right. So you see where it says style at the top, where it says fixed position.
Yeah.
All right. So you see they have a scrolling ticker. You can have it where it'll fly in from a specific position once it's hidden or brought back in. And I wonder, where is the timer? I think it may be effect. If you click on effect, maybe.
Effects.
No, it's not there. Okay, now I'm gonna have to. I wonder. We're gonna have to figure out what it is. But yeah, you can do a ticker and then do the thing where it's moving around, and you can have a certain source that will feed in the text, and it'll move around. Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna pull off of yours. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I forgot I moved it to the right thing now. So let me go.
So I can have like an API call that gets like stock tickers and I can just display it on a ticker.
The answer is technically yes, always. But yeah, like how much effort that's going to be, I don't know. But anything is possible. Cool, it's all bits, right?
It's all bits at the end of the day. Yep.
All right, give me one moment. Okay. All right. So let's add a counter. The counter is wait, let me this right here.
Oh, and you can change the speed too. That's cool. All right, counter, got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. So I can do a countdown. Oh, here, type countdown to a time every day, to a date, time, clock, stopwatch. My question with like stuff like this is like, how do you trigger like the start, reset, all that kind of stuff?
Well, we'll get into that. You first got to add it. So pick one and then add.
Do they have a countdown? Oh, they do have a countdown.
Yeah, that's the first one. All right. Now, before you add anything, I want you to notice that you can select the duration there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and set that to 30 seconds or 15 seconds. Make it short. And then go ahead and select this option, go to next scene. So this is what I use. So when I have my starting, after it finishes, it automatically goes on to the next scene for me. And then there are other, like I have a loop that once it finishes, or I'm sorry, I have a small video clip, the starting, that once it finishes, I can say go on to the next scene. So that's how that whole interaction, that whole flow goes. I start my stream, the countdown starts. When the countdown is done, it goes to the starting scene, which is the next scene in these scenes, in your scene window. And then once that scene finishes, it moves me to the next scene, which is typically my camera.
That's really cool. Okay. And it does all the fading and all that stuff for you.
Yes. Well, it depends. That's a transition, right? So you can decide which transitions to, like how it's going to transition. And we'll get into that in a moment. So you notice how it stopped when it finished, it went on to the next scene, which was your screen.
Yeah.
So let's put your default scene as, keep it there and go back to scene 2. All right. And what you can do is if you hover over your timer that's moving, you'll see that there's like a little like wrench or whatever. Yeah, you can pause it too. Just go ahead and pause it so that it doesn't move you to the next scene while we're playing with this.
That's cool.
All right. Before we go on, like, how you feeling? Any questions in particular?
I love it. It's intuitive, it makes sense, and the feature set's pretty cool so far. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and clear my drawings on your screen. All right, so now I am tempted to hit a sound effect though.
Oh, go for it. It won't play in mine because
you won't hear it.
No.
Okay.
No. Because remember, you're in mine, and that's just playing on your audio, like, which is a separate. We won't get it. It's hard.
Yeah, it's not. I would have to do my Ecamm out device for Zoom input.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, so we have a timer. So now let's make it to where, well, before we go into that, remember it'll move on to the next scene, right? Not, you can't say go to a specific scene. It's just going to be the next scene. So now let's play around with another overlay. Let's select the third overlay type, which is the little screen icon with the plus in your overlays section.
Screen icon with the plus.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And before we go further, go ahead and move your we are live. Move that to show in all scenes. Now go to your default scene. Stays there. So that's what that does. Like, it'll always be there.
And if I had this in show in background, it wouldn't work. Oh, it doesn't even go.
Well, that's because background can only be an image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's text. So like, there are different types of overlays, but I don't know if this makes it that clear, but only certain types of overlays can be used in certain situations.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's probably for the best, right? Like, if you let anyone do what they want, they'll do what they want, and it may not be, it may break things. All right. So let's go back to scene 2.
Scene 2.
And we have your window here. Now, there are a few things that we can do that's pretty cool. So click that little edit icon thing. And what you'll see here is that you have the option to show just the current application or a specific application. Oh, you got to pause the timer. So when you go back,
True.
yeah, pause the timer.
Okay. So it's paused. And yeah, now I can do different things I'm doing here. Could I like hide
Well, yeah.
background?
Well, yeah, we're good. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, we could get there. So first select the shape. Now, what I recommend you do is you do a custom shape. But you could do that as well. It doesn't really matter here. Go ahead and keep it as what you had before. And we can talk about custom stuff later, which is it's a little bit more effort into it. And then the transition is, how do you want that to appear on the screen whenever the scene is switched in, or when you bring the overlay in. So go to your overlays and click the eye icon in your overlays.
Oh, oops, sorry. In overlays.
Yeah.
But that looked cool. Let me just see that again.
Well, you're about to learn the better way of doing that. Just click the eye icon and it'll do the same thing.
On the overlay.
The screen, yeah.
Oh, that is way better of a way.
So that's why you shouldn't go, because it'll keep resetting your timer. So yeah, if you can avoid it, please stop. Don't switch scenes. Okay. It's going to keep doing that. So now, this is how you hide and show things. So you can keep all of these scenes here, or I'm sorry, all these overlays here if you wanted to. Like, let's say for instance, it's showing all scenes. Well, when you go to a specific scene, you can hide it, and then that'll be saved for that scene settings. And yeah,
I don't know why I thought I had it paused. Maybe I accidentally turned it off. Okay, so sorry, you were saying that I could have this on all scenes and then toggle it with the eyeball.
Yes.
As I change scenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
but it won't be like nice and synchronized. It'll be like this scene change happens and then I'm turning something on or off, or vice versa.
No, it'll synchronize, because it animates to the next scene. So if you go to another scene and it's shown, then it will know to show it. And it's not shown, it'll know to show it if you have it there. However, if you go to a scene where it's not, where it's supposed to be hidden, well, because the next scene is hidden, it'll move off. So it'll animate to where it's supposed to.
So here's a question. Will it animate if it persists between scenes? So here I move the screen share to show in all scenes. I would expect it to not animate in when it goes, the timer hits.
Oh, you could just press the play button. That's the same thing. The timer is literally just automated. You just got to wait
just automates the play. Okay. Yeah. You're right, but I might as well. Okay, so it doesn't animate.
So hide it here. Sense. Well, that's because it's still there. There's nothing to animate. Animations is between a state change. No state changed.
No state change occurred, yeah.
So now hide it here. Hide it here. Now keep it where it is, but hide it, because I think that's what you were trying to ask, right? Now go to your previous scene. Oh, so it persists, so never mind. So I guess if you want this to be different on these scenes, you have to say show in current scene, and you'll just copy it. But this is what's cool, is that you could literally copy it and then go to another scene and press paste, or I'm sorry, it's the keyboard command paste, and the same positioning, the same options, it'll still be there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. All right, so we got to go back to the last scene that we were on.
Go back to that scene, and let me pause the timer.
Okay, so you were asking how do I hide all of that background stuff? Well, there's two things. Yeah, there you are. You found it.
That was easy.
It's the green screen. But yes and no.
But why is it called green screen? Because it's kind of not doing that. It's just
well, so green screen
on one color,
is
right?
What this is called is technically chroma keying, but it's called green screen because if you just say chroma key, people don't know what that is. But you use they as a product, they're doing this because that's what people want. When they think about hiding the background, that's a green screen that does that. Now you may not have a green screen, but that's what's happening. But with that being said, right, it depends on the colors that are in your screen share. So if the colors are not the correct thing, it will basically make it transparent. So that's just something to be aware of, is that when you start doing stuff like this, it does matter what colors are present in your view. All right, so yeah, because yours is purple and it's unlikely to have other purple of that particular color, it'll remain seen. However, if you are not sharing your background and it's black, well, then anything that's black is gonna be transparent, and you may not want that.
I feel like that's not what this thing does, like this key, because I feel like they just borrowed the phrase green screen key, but they're not actually like picking a color and keying on that. They're just wiping out the background, like the desktop background.
The only way to know is to get a purple color of the same as your desktop and see. I'm sorry, yeah.
You know what?
And see what happens.
Okay, let me take a screenshot of my desktop, and then I will.
You're gonna have to add an image for this one.
Yeah, I'll open that up in preview, and then I'll do preview. So save that. Screenshots. Okay, so now we got that. And then I'll come here and I'll change this to preview. And yeah, the purple's still there.
Okay. Well, on mine, it doesn't do that. I can show it to you if you don't believe me. But like, because I have a black background, and if everything is black, how does the keyer know what to remove?
I feel like they just borrowed the phrase key. Like they're not actually meaning it. Like they're chroma keying on a certain color or a color range. They're just like, people know, like you were saying, people just know that means wipe out the background. So they're like, to just make it less confusing, even though it kind of makes it a little bit more confusing, they kind of like butchered that phrase, but they borrowed it.
I'm going to say I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know.
Yeah, we can move on.
You could be correct, but I don't know. Like,
yeah. You don't have to.
Because I actually do have a green screen, and if I put the green screen, it will only pull out the stuff that's in the green screen. Well, I have it over there. I don't use it.
But do you use a different setting for green screen chroma keying? Like this is just maybe for this particular thing where you do screen share overlays.
I stopped using it, and the reason why I stopped using it is because it was making certain things on my screen transparent. And I was just like, all right, if I can't control like the color range. And maybe, I mean, this is a new version. You know, maybe they fixed it. But when you lose trust in something, you're just like, all right,
I hear you.
I'll leave it. But it seems like it's working, which is kind of dope.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Something that I want you to try while you're here is press shift and scroll up on that image. So you can make it transparent. All right, so.
And I'm assuming that works with all of these too. Nice.
Yeah, so I figured out, yeah, it works on all of them. So I figured I'll just share that because it's kind of the same thing where like maybe you want to add a bit of transparency to certain things, or maybe you want to create a scene such that, you know, you can have one thing going, but you can also see through to the next thing. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Now let's move on to, well, there's two things. There's an embed and there's, well, yeah, just click the embed. It's that little globe icon in the overlays. The globe icon. Yeah, the globe, the one that's like a circle with looks like. Here, hold on, let me.
Why am I not seeing it?
That.
Oh, the globe. Yeah. Oh, globe. I heard glow for some reason. Okay.
So
got it.
Yeah. So if you've ever seen like the what do you call those things? So sometimes you'll see chat messages appear in my stream. Sometimes like you'll see a new follower or whatever appear in my streams. All of that's being powered by these little, I call them embeds. That's what it's called in ping.gg. But they call it widgets here. And they'll direct you to Streamlabs, but you don't have to use Streamlabs. This is literally just a web page that has transparency. So you can build your own and you can host them like on your, like locally, and then just point it to that URL and that'll pop up there.
Okay, so like any URL can come there, and I guess transparency just means like HTML, like a CSS property of transparent or something like that. I don't know. Like this one has transparency. You see that? Like the.
No, that's the thing that I was telling you about that will happen. You have the green screen on.
Oh, do I? On the widget? I think
all the widgets are going to have the green screen on. They're always transparent. And I think what it does is like there's specific colors that is always going to just be transparent. So you can't control it, which is, I don't know if you need to control it, but depending on if you're whatever you're looking at, if there's an alpha channel, I think that it'll strip it out. But I don't this isn't open source, so I can't really go and look and be for sure.
You see, like on my website, I don't have a background color set in the CSS. So that's why it leaks through. So as long as you don't set a background HTML or CSS property, then it's transparent essentially. Okay. But browsers by default have a white background, so that's why like when I go on the browser, I don't see it like this. But if I had to specifically put background white in the CSS, then it would show through.
I see.
Okay, that makes sense to me actually. That's intuitive.
Well, hopefully this should be setting off alarm bells here, where it's like, oh, I can build my own things.
Yeah, this is so freaking cool. So I guess like the notification things are like you have like a website that listens in on some like WebSocket or something, and whenever the event comes, it displays something. And that's what so you have something that's just always on the scene, but it's usually empty. And then when something happens, you'll just get like a little thing. Right.
And if you ever looked at some of these, like sometimes you can actually see, like if you go to the link where, in my case, it'll just be like a white screen. It looks white at least. And then if there's a message, you'll just see this little small message in this big ass web page. And just there, it doesn't seem like it makes sense. But when you put it in the context of here, and the background is removed and it's put on top of something, it makes it appear as if that's the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is a really powerful tool. Now,
this is so cool.
Most of the power is in what you can create. But before we move forward, go back to your settings, to the edit of this particular thing. There are a few things that I want to call to your attention.
Okay. 1 second. What the heck is this thing? I don't know what that is. Okay. Go back to my edit, you said?
Yeah, like you see that, that icon, yeah. So the frame rate, this is important, right? So depending on what kind of, what are you showing, you need to make sure that you adjust the frame rate so that it's not taking up too much bandwidth, because this is something that's going to, that the stream is going to have to composite essentially. Like the compositor is going to have to do stuff. So if you're doing something where the frame, like maybe it's a GIF and the GIF is never going to be more than 15 frames per second, put it at 15. Right, there's no need to try to have it double and then should repeat the same frames over and over and over again. And then you can also adjust the resolution. Most of the time, it defaults to 720p. In fact, if you're using like stuff like ping, I think that's your only option by default. But you should just keep in mind that this resolution shouldn't be that big, because it's unlikely that it's going to be taking up your entire screen, first of all. But second of all, it's unlikely you're streaming in 4K. You can, but if you're streaming to Twitch, you're not streaming in 4K. The max they support now is 1440p, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And then the keep running. This is also important for certain types of widgets. So let's say, for instance, you go to another scene, and it's important that particular widget stays it's not reset or something like that. So you select that.
Got it.
And then of course you got transitions, just like you have everything else. And yeah, I think there's more to widgets, but that's like 80-90% of what you need to know.
Very cool.
And I see you discovered that it shows you your previous widgets. So if you've done things in the past, you don't have to keep doing it. You can just be like, oh yeah, I selected it, and just select it again.
So cool. All right.
What kind of camera do you use?
I have a A7 III.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to get into something else, which we're not going to actually be able to get deep into this, because you have to change camera settings and shit like that. But you can use LUTs. So let's say, for instance, you're like into photography or videography, and you've created your own LUTs, your own color profile, or whatever, based off of like S-Log or S-Cinetone or whatever. You can load that LUT and change the way your camera looks. That's what the select. Oh well, you won't be able to do that, but
I don't have any.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'd also have to have some, but you can create LUTs. It's not. Well, I won't say it's not that hard. I mean, requires a little extra knowledge, but you get to change your camera settings. So let's do some of this. Go back to your camera, wherever it is, and let's make this bigger.
Should I go to this?
No, keep it where it was, but just go to your default scene.
Go to my default scene. Okay. And then now I can go to camera effects. So yeah, they do have green screen here. Interesting. And then yeah, zoom and pan, so I can kind of. Whoa.
Yeah, if you zoom in and then like you zoom and then you can like reframe your shot. So like say for instance you're like, oh, I need it to be a certain way. You zoom in and frame it however you
Show
like.
my bookshelf. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
And
you got, like,
yeah, you got brightness.
Temperature. Whoa. Yeah, all your Lightroom kind of stuff.
Now gamma's very important actually.
Yeah.
So gamma, it maps to the gamma on your camera. So if you know what the gamma on your camera is, you can correct for that here. So this is where you get into like your color profiles. I think you get up to 12 or 9 color profiles slots in the Sony camera, and I actually have my camera set up to have a color gamut of S Cinetone. No, not S Cinetone. S Cinetone gamut. You know what? Hold on, wait a minute. I will fix this. I'll just get one of my other cameras and look to see what it's called. Let's go to.
That's interesting. I can't change my mouse cursor size.
Interesting. Oh, maybe because you're not. Are you using the free version?
I am, but they gave me all the pro stuff for 14 days.
I don't
Like
know.
that's why I can do virtual devices and all that stuff.
Oh, that's part of Pro. Oh, wait, is Pro the top one or the not?
Yeah, Pro's the top one.
Okay.
And you can only do virtual devices with Pro.
Oh, I did not know that. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I am getting more for mine. I'm still not really. I wish I didn't have to pay monthly. All right, so the color mode that I use is sgamut3.cine, and the gamma that I use is slog3.
Okay. I don't know what any of that really means, but I hear it. I hear people talk about it and say it.
Well, that's how you get all of the dynamic range that your camera is capable of. I think your camera is capable of like 12 stops dynamic range, and stops is like, just think of it like doubling, right? So like how much,
like an octave.
Yeah, except this is like it's double. Like it grows as a square. I think it's exponential. Is that what it is? Like it's a logarithmic. Oh no, it's a logarithmic curve.
Okay.
If that makes sense, right? So like.
Okay. Is that why they call it Cinolog, I guess?
Well, that's why it's called log. Yeah, like a log format. Okay. Yeah, it's logarithmic, and it's based off of this fact that actually, you know what? We'll get into camera in that kind of that's a separate thing. That's a separate thing. I don't want to get too far in the weeds on that. Okay, so you figured out sources. You've seen how you can like compose like the different components. Now we should think about how could we build out like a particular, I don't know if you had a vision for what a scene looked like. Well, this is where you get into like if you have images, you can add an image, and then you can then position your text near that image, stuff like that. Or if you want to like build a certain thing, well, you can have your building blocks of like you have a square of whatever color, you have another rectangle of another color. You can start to put these things together to build frames to like put stuff in, or you just do that in your.
So can I show just one part of my screen, not attached to any particular window, but just like one pixel range of my screen?
1 pixel?
1 pixel range, not one pixel, but like say like this like rectangular corner in the top left corner of my screen. I just wanted to always show that.
can you what I don't see what you're referring.
Okay, so basically, you know how Zoom, do you see yourself on my Zoom? Probably not, because Zoom I think cancels it out. But
I turn it off.
I have that little like floating window of your face and my face. Let's say like I wanted to show that little floating window in my scene, but it doesn't show up in the scene thing here. So I was wondering if I could just show like part of my screen instead. Like Zoom lets you do this. In Zoom, I think when you share, you have the option of sharing either like your whole screen, an app, or you could, I think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you could draw a box and just share that. Maybe I'm wrong actually. Maybe I think that's actually my screenshotting tool that lets me do that.
So you want to show a specific region of your screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yes, but you accomplish it using Zoom. So you just share, you do an overlay. So go to your overlay in scene 2. All right. Now, inside of, you see where you have your screen or whatever?
By the way, every time I switch my scene here, your voice changes a little bit. Why would that happen? Say something?
Something.
And then say something now?
Something.
Yeah, your voice got louder.
Oh, that's because you must be monitoring. Like, bring up your audio monitor settings.
Okay.
It's the third one from the top. Mute everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that last thing that?
Well, that only shows up when you were sharing your screen. So make sure you mute the Rodecaster Pro. Like, we're not using that audio here. So that's probably why I sounded louder when you switch.
I still notice it.
Well, I can't, to be honest, I don't know. That's not really an Ecamm thing. I think that's just the fact that, we're doing these things right now. And, yeah,
I'm just curious. It was interesting. I don't know why I would do that, but okay. So what were we talking about? Oh, sharing the region. I would do that with Zoom. And then I guess, can you download scenes like that other people have made? I'm sure you can probably do that.
I'm sure. I don't know where you would get them. Like, you can create, honestly, maybe we can do that. Like, we make scenes and then sell them somewhere,
Yeah.
But yeah, you would just, I think it's just a file, or it may be tied to a profile, so maybe not. I don't know. This is the answer. I really don't know.
Because, like, your countdown video, isn't that animated?
That's a video.
Oh, so it's a video playing in the background with the number on top. Got it.
No. That's not even a video in the background. That's literally that video thing.
And the number's baked into the video?
No, the number is an overlay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
so the number is a timer overlay, and then the background is just a video playing.
Exactly. And then I have another overlay that I'm using to make it darker. So the overlay is black, and then I increase the transparency, or decrease it. I increase the transparency to make the video darker. Otherwise, it'll be very bright. So that's why it's got that dull looking. And I did that to increase the contrast between my background and the numbers, and that's necessary because as you see, as the background moves, it's all different kinds of colors. So the only way I can really create contrast is to darken it. So yeah, and I'll show some of that. And
how do you add a video for the background?
Go to just make a new scene. Go to your new scene.
New scene. Okay.
And you gotta press the play button to select the scene. All right, so you see where that video thing that I said we're not going to get into?
Oh, just up here, you select it. Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when you start building a lot of these things, what you would likely want to do is start grouping these into folders and all that kind of stuff. And I'll do a quick walkthrough through my setup in a moment. But before we go on, I want to see if you go to your overlays menu, your top level menu.
My overlays top level menu.
In the menu bar.
Okay.
Place order command.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, so this is one of the things. So let's say you get a comment in a stream. What you can do is you can then post that to the stream. So that what you're doing here is like what that would look like if this was an actual comment. And typically it'll pull in their face, their avatar, and
nice.
whatever their comment is, and you can change like the color and all that kind of stuff. So that when it do show up, like it'll match whatever your brand is and all that kind of stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know if you've seen because it's when I'm doing these streams and I'm talking to folks like you, it's very hard to not only manage the stream and then also be engaged in the conversation and also read what they're doing and then try to like put it up. So like I don't do it often, but every so often, I mean, if you watch a whole stream, like you'll see it eventually.
Yeah, you just gotta like make a mental note to jump back and forth every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the other thing that it's worth knowing is that if you want to get the full resolution of your camera, you can have it where it'll go into using the max resolution of your camera. So if you go to the camera effects, and you'll see here that there's a checkbox. Now your camera effects, it's the magic one. Just look up, it's already open.
Oh, right, okay.
All right, so you see that last checkbox, use max resolution. So depending on your device, it'll be able to show you the max resolution of your camera. In my case, that's 4K. And the reason why this is useful is not necessarily for your stream, but if you were to go into your options, your settings, so go ahead and press Command comma. And if you go to recording, you see here how you can record all broadcasts, but you can also record isolated video tracks. So say for instance, we're recording the stream, but after the fact, you may go back and edit or whatever. Well, maybe your camera's 4K and it's outputting 4K. Well, your camera will be recorded in 4K as a separate video. And then the actual stream will be recorded in whatever it's recorded in. And like, if there are any guests, they will also be recorded in whatever. I think for y'all it's like 720, or maybe it could be 1080p. I'm not really sure for guests. And you can also record isolated audio tracks. So hopefully this is starting to like
nice.
get to like what I'm building, which is like if I split out the audio tracks, I can send it to WhisperSync or OpenAI Whisper and create my transcripts because it's separate.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely select this right now because I feel like I always want this isolated audio tracks.
Well, you think you want it, but it's going to create a new folder for everything, and then every track that's in your scenes is going to have a separate audio, unless you mute it. So you got to remember, like you got to set up your scenes and make sure you mute things that you don't want it to record. Otherwise, you'll have this big audio file that's nothing. And
so you're saying like up here in the sound level section, like right now,
you'll get 3 tracks. You'll get 3 tracks.
Oh,
if they're not muted.
Oh, interesting.
And
what's movie? Okay, I got it.
Yeah, if we were playing a movie. All right.
Got it.
So yeah, you can also do what I highly recommend this record only countdown. So it won't just record automatically. It'll give you a timer. So like say for instance you accidentally do it, you can stop it. Otherwise it'll instantly start recording or streaming.
So why is that not good?
Mistakes happen. Like it's like press the record button. Is 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Oh, so you can get prepared. You kind of like photo booth on the Mac where it counts down before it starts recording.
Or just so that maybe you click the button on accident. Like that happens. There's no confirmation. Okay. It'll just start doing it. Maybe you don't want that, or maybe you want to get ready for your take. It's whatever you want. I just recommend you do that. It's only 3 seconds. And
how do I get out of it if I accidentally click it?
Well, if you press stop, and let's do it. Let's go to your scene and click there and make sure you select record. Yep, and go ahead and click record. Stop. Just click it.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
It didn't do it.
No, that's weird.
Try it again.
Let me try it again.
All right, so here's how I stop it. I have my Stream Deck. So it's like I've set up my Stream Deck so that when it starts recording, it'll show up on my Stream Deck, and I can press end recording immediately. In fact, I don't even start recording using Ecamm. I don't interact with Ecamm. I only interact with it to set up the scenes. And from there, I use my Stream Deck, except for today. That's why it was, that's why there were mistakes. It's because I was having to go and change things. But so long as I never touch Ecamm, my stream goes by smoother. So
that's good.
This is something that you'll get. Like, you don't want to be messing with Ecamm while it's streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think let's show. I'm gonna share my screen now. So you've got a little bit more, so you'll have a little bit of time to digest.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta warn me if you're just gonna stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why? What does that do?
Well, because I was sharing your screen on my stream, so like when you stopped, then it shows something else that I wasn't prepared to have it show.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, I think as you start to stream, you'll start to think about stuff like that. You can't just like do something because it's gonna show, and you may not want that. So
yeah, it's a different mindset. We're in production basically, right? Like,
yes.
Everything, there's like implications to transitions and stuff. So I guess when I hit end, it just popped. Oh, it went to you.
Yeah. All right, so let's do. Oh, I need to share my screen with you, so I'm gonna use my Stream Deck for that. It's easier. So we'll do.
Okay, so I get it now. So what was on the screen was Zoom.
Yes.
Basically showing you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was showing Zoom, and it was sharing your screen, and then when you stop sharing your screen, it just pops into whatever's there. So like,
it's all clicking. There's so many like moving pieces and like Ecamm and Zoom and this, but it's starting to make sense now.
All right, so let me bring this over, and no one else can see this, just me and you. So I'm gonna have to go into my settings to bring it back.
Hearing you guys talk about the M2 Ultra this morning makes me kind of want one.
I don't have an M2 Ultra. I have an M1 Ultra. I just
okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the M3.
Yeah. I don't need it now, but hopefully as I get more into this video and audio editing and stuff too, then it'll make more sense.
Okay. So there's certain things that I'm not going to be able to do because I am actually streaming. So
yeah,
I can't do too much.
Oh, but I do see like the comments now. That's cool.
Well, there's just one right now. And this is part of the reason why like I don't pay too much attention to it. So I've asked people, I'm like, if you're watching, maybe say hi, but people don't. So I guess they don't realize that if that happens, then it's just like I won't look at it. So it's like, that's why we can't have nice things. It's like no one communicates there, then it's another thing I have to pay attention to. So if I know that generally there's no one there, I'll just don't even pay attention to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so here we are. So we have my current setup. So you'll see here that we're in this screen plus guest. And if you see here that I have this is an overlay. And if we come into here, you see that it's selected on camera A. So I've mapped one of my encoders to camera A. So if I wanted to switch, I could just do A and B. I don't have to figure out which encoder it is or whatever. And I can map something to that and then always switch back and forth and not have to think, oh, this is Pratik or this is Russell if he comes in, or this is Chris. I can just map it to A and B. And
what do you mean by encoder?
The encoder is the thing that turns your raw. In my case, I think I'm outputting H.264 from my camera via HDMI. And that it needs to be encoded into a format that my computer can view as a webcam.
As a webcam. Okay, got it.
So it's taking
that's what the Cam Link does, like Elgato's Cam Link?
Yeah, that's an encoder. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so we have here, and some of the things that we didn't really touch on is that you can turn on corner radiuses. On and off as you see. So if you look very closely, in fact, let me make it even bigger. So you see now that it's like a pill. Well, I can make it like that, or I can do this, right? And that shows up on the stream.
Cool.
Maybe I shouldn't have did that. I think I used prom number. It may have been 7, maybe. I don't remember.
I can check mine if you want.
No, all of my stuff is custom. Oh, you mean the stream, so you can see what it was in the past and then tell me what it was?
No, I meant if there was a default. If you
no, I don't actually use the defaults.
Got it.
I've
got
actually
it.
went in and like did a lot of custom things.
Okay.
Okay. What else?
And then I guess, is there a way to export all your stuff so you don't lose it? Like you can save down
You
your
come here to file, or I'm sorry, to profiles, export current profile,
boom.
and
Nice.
then I save mine in iCloud
Oh, nice.
so that I can use it on all of my other computers and
That's
not
awesome.
have to redo it. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go and show some of this, like some of the scenes that I have, and we can talk through how it was accomplished. I first gotta plug in first. All right. So let me come here, and let's do my phone. Which right now, because my phone is off, I have to like turn it on again. Oh, it's not even showing up anymore. That sucks. Give me a second. Camera. iPhone. Yes, that one. Okay, so.
And I'm assuming your picture in the bottom right is an overlay.
Yes, that is a background, or that's an image, and it's a little bit of transparency, and I just put it down there, and that's on every scene. So if you see here, show it. Well, I don't know why it says showing current scene, but that's supposed to be in every scene. I'm not really sure why. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter that much. Oh, actually, no, it does matter. So if you put show in all scenes, then sometimes the ordering of things will get messed up because it's layer based. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I put it in showing currency, and I just copied it to every scene.
Okay.
All right. So here's a scene where it shows my iPhone, right, along with me. And here's what's all going on. So I have an overlay here. This is if someone were to follow right now on Twitch, you'll see something. Or if somebody were to send me messages on Twitch, or if I were to start chatting, you would see it pop up here. I also have an emote wall, so if people were like left emojis or emotes in Twitch, they'll float up and like do the little bubbly things. But I don't get a lot of engagement.
Is there like a marketplace for widgets where you got those from?
Yeah, I'm using Streamlabs, OBS Streamlabs.
Oh, it is Streamlabs.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So I think I had to pay. It's not free. That's the thing. So,
okay.
Yeah, you got to pay for this stuff, and it's not like a one-time payment, unfortunately.
Damn it. Yeah. God damn it.
Well, isn't that the way that software is going? Like everybody's freaking doing that.
I think so. I got to get in on that. I got to start charging for things so I can get a cash flow too.
Yeah, I hate it, to be honest. In fact, this right here, my doc search tool, they just decided to go to a subscription model, and I'm just like, I won't update it anymore. I'm just like, I don't use.
It sucks, man. Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a good way. I mean, some people will keep it. I guess maybe it'll make it more profitable, maybe. But I imagine that there are a lot of folks like me who will just say, oh, fuck it. I'll just go to the internet. Like, that's free.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions around this? Like, are there any? I mean, you see what's all going on here, and like.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, you have a lot of scenes. I guess you use. Yes, you're not using them all the time. Like I see iPad, iPhone. Like when it's the right moment, you'll use those. One question: how's your iPhone getting on there? Plugged in or wired?
Yeah, it's plugged in, and you can select your iPhone. Like you can select your iPhone as a source. So if you come into sources here, I'm sorry, cameras, you'll see these are all of the different sources.
Oh.
Yeah. So this scene is supposed to be like this, but I unplug my iPhone all the time. So when I unplug my iPhone and I start Ecamm, if it's not plugged in, it'll default to my default scene, which is camera A. Which is why when I first switched to this scene, you saw myself over myself. But then like I went and turned back on my phone, and now you see this. And I can also go to my iPad. Like I have a iPad one, which, is my iPad plugged in? No, I got to turn on the iPad. Let me do that. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. It's not happy right now. Let me re-plug it back in. All right, so let me unlock it, and we'll turn the iPad back on. And now, hopefully you'll understand like now where it's like you'll want to avoid, like, if you have stuff set up, you kind of want to avoid doing stuff because then you have to deal with this. All right,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to fix this. This is something where I would have to stop Ecamm and restart it for it to recognize my iPad. So we're just gonna
Okay.
pretend that didn't happen, and I'll show you this other scene, which is a
Ooh, that's
overlay.
cool.
I have a border, not a border, but you can add borders if you want. I have my phone, and then myself. All right.
So are you using this for like iOS development?
Uh, somewhat. I use this for work too. So like if I need to record something to demonstrate what's going on, I'll do this because it's easier for me to set up in a scene once versus to record and have all these different sources, go into Final Cut Pro and like compose it there, and I would have to edit, which is too much effort. So I don't. So yeah, I'll go back to string guess. And now,
I'm just curious how you have your iPad laid out. Cause do you have it horizontally or?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have it like on my desk, horizontal, which is how I use that's how I use my iPad. I don't use it in vertical mode.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then on the screen will come up to like in that aspect ratio.
Yeah,
okay,
it'll come up in the aspect ratio. However, what you can do, which is what I've done, is you can give a custom aspect ratio.
Oh, okay.
So
like I could have the phone in like landscape mode if I wanted to as well.
Yes and no. The yes is like if you have a video that's in landscape mode and you have your view as in landscape mode, it'll take up the full space. However, you can't force your phone to be in landscape mode on an iPhone. Like on your home screen, there's no way for you to force it to be landscape. So
you can't force that.
So what would happen is you would just get black bars on the sides.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean by yes and no.
Got it.
All right. What's some other things that are maybe worth going into? So I think it's the install. Gosh, what is it called? It's for the it's for your what do you call it?
Stream Deck?
Yeah, it's for the Stream Deck. I thought that there was something that you can install from here, but maybe
I
not.
thought I saw something too. Like it was like a first class citizen. Oh, I do see it. I guess you have already installed it, so it doesn't show up for you.
Okay.
But for me, it says install Stream Deck plugin.
Well, yeah, you would do that, and then let's open up Stream Deck so we can start to go over some of the stuff, and then we also got to open up shortcuts. Okay, wait, why can't?
Let me just install Stream Deck real quick. Oh, you use like Apple shortcuts for this?
I have to. There are certain in order to accomplish certain some of these workflows. Yes, I'm using my Stream Deck to trigger a shortcut that I've created.
Ooh.
And some well, you'll see. it could get kind of complicated. So,
dude, I gotta say, I'm in admiration of your setup. Like the way you have like everything so organized and so functional and automated is like so inspiring.
It's taken me 18 months to 2 years. So I wouldn't be it wasn't instant. So I want that.
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't, but I love where you've ended up, and it's really cool.
Well, I'm hoping that we can get you there faster. But I'm actually not satisfied with where my stuff is. There's a lot that I'm annoyed by, and some of it.
But I just want you to know, I know there's always more to do and always more knobs to tweak in this, but just appreciate how far you've come, because this stuff is really cool, and you're doing some really high fidelity production kind of stuff, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I wish more people knew that, especially at work, where it's like when I do these things, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of different skill sets that a lot of people don't have. It's a mix of, and you're gonna see this, right? Where it's in order to accomplish certain things, you do need to know a little bit about. You don't necessarily need to know how to program, but you need to be kind of familiar with a lot of technical things like photography, videography, or lighting. Even the stuff with keying, right? Knowing how to do that or how to solve specific problems. There's if you wanted to build a very special scene, that takes a little bit of design skill. And then there's also making all these tools work together, which is hard. It's harder.
It's very holistic. You got to be a Renaissance man. There's so many different aspects. so many things that go into it.
All right,
But that's cool.
hold
Okay,
on.
so what do we got
I
here?
keep
What kind
getting
of?
beach balls. Give me a second. Like, my gosh.
Oh shit.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this back to where it's supposed to be, because it's confusing me. Like, I can't see too many things at once.
Okay.
And for those people who are watching, they're like, oh yeah, it's like I have more going on than you. I have 3 monitors, 4 if you count my iPad. For the haters who would be like, oh yeah, I can do this. It's like, yeah, on your laptop screen. It's easier when you have one screen. Then we have our Zoom running. That's the other thing that I guess people don't realize. We have Zoom. We're doing the screen share. We're getting your audio as well as your video feed. Your audio is coming in through a whole entirely different technology from your video, and we're
Through
able
Zoom,
to
right?
get that's coming in through Zoom, and I'm having to route that into the same channel that my audio is going into. And in addition to that, like the music, for instance, I can turn it up and like that's being mixed by me, or if I turn off these EQs, now it's what the music actually sounds like.
Quick question. Why don't you let my audio come in through Ecamm again?
Because I would not be able to control things separately from my own audio. It's just too much effort.
Together.
Remember when I was like, I don't want to touch Ecamm? That I don't want to touch Ecamm. I rather do this, which is what I'm used to. I've been using UAD hardware in their console for a decade. It works well for my needs, so I'm like, I will use this. It's also a much nicer user interface. No, I'm sure you saw the sound levels. Like, sure, it's horizontal first of all, and like I'm used to dealing with consoles, which we turn volume up and down, not left and right. We do panning for left and right. Also the fidelity, like I take mental notes of like where I am. This is 20 decibels, and I get to see like how, like, what is the levels that is actually being output. I don't see that in Ecamm. It's just like 0 to 100, and it's like, what the hell is 0 to 100? What does that mean? Like, what units are we using here, and like, what is my audio actually? It just shows you the bar, but it doesn't show you like, okay, it's that 27 dB, which you may be like, oh, why does it matter? Well, I monitor where I am. So you see my levels, they peak at around negative 3 dB. Well, just being able to see that, I can look at my audio and say, okay, I know that the audio that's playing won't like distract from what I'm saying.
Right.
So there's a lot of things going on, and plus, like, I control the EQ of like my audio, and I can't do that in Ecamm. And even if I could, like, I wouldn't be able to use this because this is happening on external hardware, not.
But can't you just have this pipe into Ecamm?
To an extent, Ecamm only allows you 2 channels, and I am currently dealing with 22.
Okay.
Plus 16, plus 2. Ecamm gives me 2. Yeah, so it's just like it's not suitable for my needs. But for you, it should be fine. It should be fine for you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Just back on monitor. All right, so then we'll open Stream Deck again. Hopefully it won't keep freaking beach balling.
Yeah, Stream Deck, like, I don't know what they used to make this, like Java or something. Like it's got a weird clunkiness to it, their UI.
Yeah, and they have the audacity to try to charge people a monthly fee for this bullshit. It's like $5.
No way.
Yeah.
Stream Deck too?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's
like,
if
you already paid for the freaking thing.
That's if you want to use your phone. Like, if you want to use your phone to control the Stream Deck software, you got to pay $5.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
It's not
but
that
that's
cool.
Monthly, that's terrible.
Well, to be honest, like, if you use your phone, it's not even a good experience. It's shitty. It's literally the same thing as a Stream Deck, except you just tap the thing.
Yeah, and you don't get that tactile feedback. Like, I can blindly hit the button without looking at it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I'll just use this.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
For someone who doesn't have a Stream Deck, it is serviceable, but yeah. Okay. Cool. So what do you got here? You got some scenes? You got like going live?
Yeah, so this is the Ecamm stuff here. And you see these are all of the actions that you have access to. Let me move my levels back.
Ooh, so many possibilities.
All right, so all
add
of
marker.
these.
I see add marker.
Well, I've been using that. That's new. In fact, I
Oh,
don't know if you see that, Mark. That's what that is.
oh, I do see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We may not be able to do this if it keeps doing this. All right. So you notice how this right here, this changed. This is my music. So if I do that, like it'll play, and then it'll show the actual artwork of what's playing.
Fun.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, so the things that you're probably going to use the most is go live and finish.
Okay.
Publish. Well, maybe. Actually, we didn't get into that. Maybe I should get into that. Like being
Quick
able
question.
to.
Quick question. Before we go forward, you ever like accidentally hit finish?
No.
Okay.
How could
that
I?
seems like scary. Like if I accidentally hit that button.
Well, I put it in a certain place so that it will not, like, it's unlikely that I'm gonna accidentally take my hand from over here and move it to my stream deck and accidentally press that specific button. This is my finish right here. Actually, no, I don't have finish. I have ending. That finishes my stream.
So you got I'm working with a 2x3 stream deck. I got like the really basic one.
Mm-hmm.
So I only have 6 buttons. So there's a chance I could accidentally hit some stuff on there.
Well then don't use finish, just use ending. Like have an ending scene. That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
So
like that.
it's like it's a video as well, but in the options here, I'll show this. I'll show it. Give me a second. Well, all right. I'll show you to another because I'm streaming. It'll mess up the stream if I do it. So I'll have to show it to you off stream at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, the scene that you're going to run the most is your run scene thing right here. All right. So when you, oh my gosh.
You know, it's funny because I don't see the beach ball. I guess Ecamm like makes its own, composites its own mouse. So I'm not seeing the beach ball.
You should be looking at Zoom.
Oh, you know what? I am on Zoom. I guess Zoom does the same thing, maybe?
Okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, you should be really looking at Zoom. All right,
Okay,
so you see here where we have title. I give it whatever title I want. And then you can come here, and so long as you've organized your scenes, this is why organization becomes handy, and naming becomes handy. You can just say, all right, well, run this scene. And
So those are the folders.
Yeah. It just gives the title like a name up here.
Nice.
Yeah, the folders are just for organization. They don't really exist. It's just just for organization. There's also the sound. So you were pressing the sounds. I have a soundboard on mine, so I've put a bunch of sounds. I haven't come up with like icons for all of these. That's maybe in next year we could be looking at this. You'd be like, oh my gosh, like this is so like, and then I would agree. Like there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
You'll be like, I'm still only 10% of the way there.
Man,
so the pages thing, do you have a pages button on your stream deck?
Yeah. So each one of these is a next page.
Oh.
And you can make them like you just create a page. So in order to do that, you come into Stream Deck here. Wait, why is that? Wait, is it not Stream Deck or is it System? Let me see.
System.
I thought it was
Navigation.
Oh, navigation.
I see navigation.
Yeah. So you just do that. You just add a page. Here's the downside to it. There's a plus and a minus. It takes up a button. So on your middle pages, you're gonna lose 2 buttons to your left and right. And on your first and end pages, you're gonna lose 1 button because you need to go to the right or left. So yeah, you can use that to create more than 1 pages, and you just click this plus button to add pages.
I see.
And
I'm so annoyed. I only got a 6-button stream deck now.
Yeah. So
But whatever.
if it makes you feel better, the first stream deck I got was the 15 button, and then just the last month, or I don't know when it was, but I ordered the bigger one, the XL, whatever it is, the one for a lot more money.
32 now.
Yeah, it feels honestly, it's much better. Like it feels like it's made out of metal. It's got a really solid base. It's not that flimsy, like this is like an actual. It's really nice. I would recommend it if you're really going to be doing this. Like having these buttons makes life so much easier.
Yeah, the automation is, you get a little dashboard control panel thing. I like it.
All right. So that's really, I mean, honestly, the Ecamm stuff, I'm not doing much, right? I just have the publish. I have preview mode. So preview mode allows me to like make changes to a scene. And I didn't do this earlier. I should have while we were streaming, but I could have went into preview mode, changed the scenes around, and whatever people are seeing is what, it's what it was before I went into preview mode. And then when I'm ready to show people the scene, I just hit publish, and then it'll show them that. Or if I'm like, I don't want to publish it, I can go back to live mode and see what it looks like there, and then I can go back to preview mode, and what I had before is there, and I can keep editing. So yeah. But yeah, that's cool. What these two things are. So I can go into preview mode now, and like, in fact, I'm gonna go into preview mode. You don't see
it's
what's
almost
happening.
Like behind the curtains, you're setting up the next scene, and then the curtains go up, and now the news.
Yes, well, hopefully not setting up. You're doing a little tweaking. You should set up your scenes before you do a stream. Like, while streaming is not the time to do scene setup.
Right.
Yeah, don't do what I did. So what you're about to see, hopefully, is I'm going to move myself to somewhere else, and you don't see it on the stream yet. However, when I go to publish, wait, did it not? Why is it not doing it? Okay, it seems like my stream deck isn't working. It's freezing again. God damn it. Okay.
Yeah, fucking screen deck.
All right, fuck it. I give up. I don't care anymore. Let's just go back to live mode. Oh wait, well, do you see it now? On the stream?
On Zoom, right?
Yeah. No, on the stream.
What am I looking for? All I see is you. It's very similar to what I see on Zoom.
You should only see my screen on Zoom. You shouldn't see yourself or me on Zoom.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. I see the window, and then both of our heads in like boxes.
Huh. Where are you at in the stream? Because my face is on the top left and yours is on the bottom right.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you notice how that's different. But you didn't see me move it.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. But I guess, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's usually not there. It's usually on the bottom right.
Yeah, so I was demonstrating preview. That's what I was doing.
Oh, okay, I get it now. So you went to preview mode, and then you moved your box over,
and then I published, and then I went back to live. So now if I come here, you should see it in a second. When the stream catches up, you will see that I'll just pop over back to where it was.
Yeah, and it faded in nicely. Yeah, looked good.
Yeah, so like I have that for a reason, so that I can like do whatever changes I need to do or monitor things without messing up either a recording or a stream.
And you have that hotkey, like you have that in your
that's what this deck? That's what this is, preview mode.
Oh, okay.
And then this is published. You know what?
Like, my question is, if you're doing that, aren't you in Ecamm anyway? Do you really need that on the stream deck?
Yes. Because how do you go into preview mode on like the thing like here? Well, I guess what you don't know.
Because like you would go to Ecamm, and then you would see that window come up for the Ecamm, and then you'll see the big publish button there.
But I don't. Here's why. So you see how like I have this is Ecamm. You see this now. No one else sees it but you. All right, let me close stream deck before.
Oh, you have like the simple. You hit all the window.
Yeah. It's because it's distracting. And if I'm not interacting with Ecamm, which is why I say, like, why do I need to see it? It just makes my life harder.
Okay, then it makes sense.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you press Command tilde.
Command tilde, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy in the video is talking about that.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to use Ecamm at all. So it's just like I just have it hidden over here, and everything is controlled from my stream deck. And like it's also the fact that like I have 3 monitors, and Mac OS has desktops. Each of my monitor has 3 or 4 desktops, so not like I would first have to go to like distract myself, go to the right desktop for the thing, look for Ecamm under all of the different windows that are here, and then hope that I don't accidentally touch something and fuck something up, just so that I can like do something that I can literally just tap my button and we're good.
That's true. Less things can go wrong.
Yes. So that's why earlier when I was saying like, oh, I have these Zoom things, and I'm like, I need to use that. Well, it's because I haven't gotten used to using it yet. So yes, I could go to Zoom, and like for instance, you're going to notice in Zoom, I'm going to turn off my camera. Sure, I can go and look for Zoom to do that, but if I'm trying to run a stream as well as work and be entertaining and like talk to people and respond to people, like it makes a lot of sense to me to just remove as many distractions as possible so that I can deliver like a decent streaming experience, and then I can.
So you have a button on your stream deck that stops your Zoom video?
Yep. Here, I'll show that. I'll deal with Ecamm or Stream Deck. It infuriates me. And like, fortunately, when you set it up, you don't ever have to look at it or touch it again.
Yeah.
Until shit stops working, which it happens more than I like to admit. And now it's not even opening. My gosh.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Configure. All right, here we are. So that's what these are. So this is the camera, and this controls zoom. So I get to say, you know, turn off my camera, and then you have all these other options here. I also have a button to like ask people to like unmute themselves, and I also have a button to just mute everyone else. So let's say, for instance, you know, it was a bunch of us in a Zoom, and we're streaming, or I don't know, I'm just hosting a meeting, and it's a bunch of noise. Instead of me saying, hey, can you turn off? It's like, no, I just pressed my button, and they get muted. Right?
Why can't I be in more meetings with people like you?
Well, you can.
That's
you can.
amazing.
That's the thing. That's the power of like, you know, you can do this if you want. It's just, you know.
No, that's awesome. Like, I wish more people had that access more often, where they could just mute everyone. Well, and then the last one is top right is leave the meeting.
Yeah. This is leave the meeting. So
okay.
So like, instead of me having to be,
you don't got to fumble for like the leave colleague and just go boom. I'm out.
No, I don't have to fumble for where is that share screen bar that's on one of my monitors on one of the desktops. I don't have to do that. Like, I don't have to look for that and say, all right, where is it? Stop share and end. It's like, no, just end. We're good. Right.
Yeah.
And
do they have a stop? Do they have a stop screen share one though? Like just for
that's
screen
what
share?
this is. That's what this is.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks really
so
weird.
I don't have like, I mean, I've organized where these are, so I just remember the location. I don't actually look at the thing, but you can put a name to here. So if like, you know, if I want to share, you won't see this, but it stops sharing, right? And if I wanted to share, it will just pop up with the screen share window on one of the monitors, wherever the Zoom is, and I would just select
that same button.
Yeah, it toggles.
It toggles, nice.
Yeah, so I'll put it back here. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, so that's Zoom, and I mean there are a few other things that you can do, but
Xcode, you got stuff for Xcode too?
Yeah. So for
toggle breakpoints, that's hilarious.
it's helpful. Like, it's mostly for this resume and pause debugger. I think there's also stuff for Visual Studio Code, if I'm not mistaken. I have one for API request. You may be like, why would you do that? Well, what if I wanted to trigger some event on some server, aka, hey, I started a live stream. YouTube bot, I started a live stream. Do these things. I can just have it call this thing, and you know, you can give it credentials like auth and all that kind of stuff, and it'll do the things. Okay. Or maybe you have, I don't know, you're doing some Internet of Things stuff, and it's controlled via some server. Well, you can send a request to the server.
Also, if you have that, like if you have a website set up with your widget, you can trigger events on that widget.
Right. Yeah. Basically, it's an escape hatch. If you know about servers and HTTP, it's an escape hatch to do whatever you want, essentially.
I love it. Nice.
And then the thing here is multi-actions. This is like a macro. Okay. I do have a couple of them for my lights, actually. So like this turn on, turn off, this is a multi-action. And if we go here, you see that there's actually 3 actions. So if we go here, it's turn on my key light mini, my ring light, and my key light. So now, instead of like, you know, going into the Elgato, which I think is here, and being like click, 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 and then click for the other thing, one thing, it turns on that. I also have another light, which unfortunately there isn't. I would have to figure out a way to send an HTTP request to it somehow. Like I'm using the app actually. So this is a iPhone app, this thing right here. And I just have it rendering here. And this allows me to control my aperture light.
You have an iPhone app running on your Mac?
Yeah, you can have iPhone apps running on your Mac. You can have iPad apps running on your Mac too. For instance, here, I'll show you one. So here's do Chinese. This is an iPhone app. It's the universal app thing that Apple did a while. So this is actually a iPhone app, and it runs here. Yeah.
My mind's blown.
Yeah. So because I can run iPhone apps, certain know how some things only have an app, and there's no Mac OS app. It's like, well, I just install the iPhone app, and I can.
Does the developer have to opt into providing that, or does it work for every
They have
app?
to opt out.
They have to opt out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you come across a app that doesn't have it, that's them being hostile to you. That's how I interpret it.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the case, but like there's a dictionary app that I use called Pleco, that for whatever reason, when it became like that universal binary thing, they disabled it. And I'm just like, as someone who's paid a shit ton of money for this application and like all of the extensions, I'm like, when is it going to be released on the Mac? You don't have to do anything. In fact, you have to do work to get it to not work on a Mac. So it's just like, it's kind of infuriating, to be honest.
Bummer. Yeah.
All right, and then we have Streamlabs. So I don't really have any, oh my gosh, I don't have any Streamlabs stuff yet, but I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time like, you know, updating my stream because I want to get YouTube and other things in the stream and not just Twitch. So full disclosure, when I first set up all of this stuff, I was only streaming to Twitch. I started streaming to YouTube this year, but because most of the stuff is already set up and like I wasn't getting any engagement on YouTube. Even now I don't get much. I just haven't spent any time on YouTube. But you know, now I need to update my profile to include more stuff. So, but again, like I like to add things over time and slowly, because if you do everything all at once, like, you know, it takes a lot of time, and it's also kind of, a lot of this is duct tape and glue. Yeah, it's just like, it's a lot.
No, it's really cool. I'm in awe, but it's really cool. Yeah, it's cool to see like where I can get to, you know. Like,
you will get there soon, I think. So just stream. Like that's really the best way. And all of these things that I have, they came up as a result of problems and me being frustrated. Whereas it's like, oh my gosh, and then I'll go and add one thing, and then next time I do a stream, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ever deal with this again. I'll go and add another thing. And that's actually how I learned to just not touch Ecamm. Right? Like there was a point where I was just trying to do everything, and it's just like, you know what, this is too difficult to do. The keyboard shortcuts, you know, sometimes it'll, you know, they override other things. Sometimes it just, I don't know. It's just set up things beforehand. I would highly encourage you to turn off all of those windows, you know, that are showing only the ones that you need, and then try your best to only use your Stream Deck and other things. That way you don't have as many mistakes in your stream.
Right.
And then I guess the last thing I'll show you, I can't show it to you in Ecamm, but I can show it to you here, I think. Let me go to, I think it's on Hermes, and then maybe media. Okay. Or is that brand? Nope. Marketing, ops, projects, YouTube brand. Oh, assets. Okay, I moved it. Okay, yeah, I moved it. So let's show like one of these loops, for instance. So this is what the loop actually looks like. It's really bright. If I keep playing that, people could have seizures. So I toned it down for a reason. All right, so that's what it really looks like. And here's my ending loop. So you'll see here that it's just a 10-second loop. You can create one of these in Apple Motion. You can create it in Final Cut Pro. You can do whatever. And, you know, once it does this and ends, I have a setting to where it'll end the stream after the video ends. So that's how I end my streams. I just press.
So it'll automatically end after the scene ends.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is that something super custom, or do they make it easy to do that?
No, they make it easy to do. You just do the video, and then it'll say you'll have a few options of what you can do, like what you want Ecamm to do after that video ends. You can move on to a new scene. You can loop the video. You can just stop the video, or you can end the stream. And there might be another thing. So I want to show, let me show this right here. It says glitch loop, but it's really not a loop. I'm going to make it smaller because I don't want to, like, you know, trip out people. So it's 25 seconds. And when it gets here, there isn't a loop. Nothing happens. But on Ecamm, when I have my intros are 3 minutes. Like, no, I'm about to stream. So it's just looping over and over and over. So for this one, when it ends, it's just start from the beginning.
Okay.
All right. And this is how you can, like, you know, start building some of this stuff. And then I also have this WebM thing, which I guess I would have to open it in a browser. Give me a second. So you see here, I'm not actually using these, but like, let's say for instance, somebody like donated money, which is why they're not being used right now. I can have this thing be the background, and then I can have text kind of animate in and do some stuff, and it feels like it's like an actual thing, but in reality, it's just a video with a text overlay. And
Okay,
it's
cool.
you know,
So you'll compose it in Ecamm, but
yes,
these are like the raw artifacts.
exactly,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. And these are
Nice.
actually, I mean, they're in place. I'm just not using them right now because I can't, like, I'm not really getting the things to do it.
If you're listening to this, pay him money so we can see
Well,
it.
you can't pay me money yet. Like, I do have a thing for Patreon. Like, I was like, oh, let me at least get the assets. I haven't done anything. Haven't done anything with them yet, but at least, like, you know, when I decide to do it, it's like I have everything I need.
You have everything there,
and
yeah.
I just got to like assemble it. I got to go do all the stuff on Patreon, which I haven't done.
But Patreon, I feel like has less frequency than like say someone just like donating something on Twitch in the moment.
Oh, well, I guess I wasn't meaning to like as an interaction on the stream. I meant like just things in general that I know I'm going to need to do, like get a Patreon set up. And what would I even have in the Patreon? Like, what value add am I going to put there?
Right.
I'm going to probably have to write stuff. There's a lot, like what Chris was saying, like, you know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. This is a business, and oftentimes, like, it's a single person doing it. Maybe there's 2 or 3 people who are working on it, but hopefully this gives people a little bit more respect for like what live streamers go through. Whereas, you know, not only are they doing this stuff, but there's also a lot of back end stuff. Like, I don't deal with this now, but in the past, I was dealing with like not brands, but like sponsors. Right, so it's like emails and negotiating contracts, reviewing contracts. I mean, I don't believe in just accepting anything. Like, there's going to be a negotiation, like with redlining. It's like doing all of that, making it easy to receive payments, making it easy to pay stuff, like accounting. This is stuff that a lot of people don't know, like accounting, like making sure that during taxes, I just give my accountant something easier, so I'm not having to pay even more because I have to pay them $250 an hour. So it's just like, okay, like if I can do a lot of this on my own and then I give this to you, so you only have to spend 2 hours. Okay, great. I'm only paying you $500 instead of $2-3 grand, right? To do stuff. So there's a lot of just like other back end stuff, but the stream hasn't gotten to that point yet where it's like I'm having to think about accounting and all that other kind of crap and like tax situation and like which entity do I use? For instance, like that's why I don't have a Patreon. Was I haven't decided, do I use my like the Code and Color LLC that I do together here for reasons, or do I use my PTD Limited that's based in Singapore? Which, you know, if I do that, that's tax implications that I got to consider, right? Like I don't get to write off things here.
Oh, okay.
Because technically that's not an American entity.
Okay.
Even though like my entity owns that entity along with another director there.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I can see
it's
it
like
getting complex.
Yeah, it's complex. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this can be a business, and
yes,
like this is just the technical stuff, but like, you know, the front of house stuff, but there's also the back of house stuff, and hopefully one day, I don't know, like I can have a producer, right? So all the things that I'm over here doing alone by myself and like running, like I can have a producer do that, or I can have a showrunner. Like a person who handles the mixing. If there's guests, they put the guest up and like make sure all of that, not what I was having to do today.
I think the thing is like, because the most important thing is people want to see you and they want to see you talk about things and you produce content. All this other stuff is nice, but it's just a means, it's just a vehicle to get you in front of the camera and talking, and that's where the value is happening. I think because we're technically savvy, we can fall into the trap sometimes of like really fine-tuning things or getting it just right, and the perfectionism takes over. But at the end of the day, people just want to see you, they want to hear you talk, and they want a way to be able to say thank you to you and give you that tip or that token. So like whatever you can do to make that easy, I think you should prioritize that probably. Because I feel like it's easy to get lost in the technical stuff and lose sight of the business stuff sometimes. But the business stuff will keep you energized and like afloat. Not that you need to be afloat. I'm sure you're doing pretty well, but it's just nice to get that.
I make nothing from this right now. Like, and that's why I hadn't prioritized. And I'm like, all right, I'm not monetized anymore on YouTube. Twitch don't pay anything, and like I can barely get people to give a thumbs up on like on the video. So it's like if they're unwilling to do that, it's unlikely, just me thinking, that they're going to sign into whatever, like PayPal or whatever their account, go through a whole bunch of login, click a button, select the amount they want to donate, do the thing. It's like that's a lot more effort than
That's fair,
yeah.
but if you have that ready, then when that moment does
Oh
come,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
then you're ready. You're ready for
I
it.
plan to do that soon, probably during my winter break. So every year I do like a long like winter break, and I basically leave and go on vacation. That'll probably be the time that I do it, because like I hate, man, like all the business stuff. Like I hate it. Like I would prefer if someone else did that, and I even looked for someone else to do that, but that's something that you got to do yourself. No one else is really going to care about it as much as you. And if that's if it's your money, like you should do it. So for me, I have times that I'm willing to do it, and hopefully as things go on and like things improve, maybe I'll have help who can, like people who can take over other things, and that'll remove excuses or remove friction from me going and doing the things that I know I need to do. For instance, like I know I need to do something right now for my Singapore entity, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to do work. Like I had to go and look over compliance stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it. Same thing with my entity here. It's just like, oh my gosh, I got to do shit.
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
But man, thank you so much for like walking me through all this stuff. This was super enlightening. I learned a lot, and I'm like so excited now to just dig in and start playing around. I actually have things popping up on my Stream Deck already. I see run scene and all that, the plugin installed. So
okay, perfect.
I'm excited to like, have at it.
All right, well, hopefully next time you'll have at least some of your most common things, like the things, just have that done. And
that'll be my goal for next time we catch up. Like I'll have like my Stream Deck set up and a couple basic scenes like ready to go in my profile. And do you ever use Ecamm to drive Zoom? Like will you ever like share your screen through Ecamm, but it comes through in your Zoom meetings maybe for work?
No, not for work. I just share my screen the regular way in Zoom.
Okay.
Because
I noticed once in Zoom though, you had like the icon in the bottom right hand corner. So I guess that was coming from Ecamm.
Yeah, that's coming from the virtual camera. Yeah.
The virtual camera. Yeah.
So what happens is when I have Zoom, I keep my virtual camera basically what you're seeing now, just my camera, and I don't do anything. And the reason why is that Zoom doesn't handle videos well unless you select that option to optimize for video. So that's an extra step that then I just don't. So I just run it through Zoom, and typically I just share my screen. Like some people, they like to share a specific thing. That's too much effort, especially when you have like damn near 40-50 things going at one time. Like I'm not about to scroll through that long to try to. It's just like I just share my screen, and it's a good habit, I think, because if you're streaming, there's going to be times where it's easier to just share your screen. So just get in the habit of like making sure you know what's on your screen and just share that. Yeah, it makes things so much easier and faster.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I don't really know if I have anything else. I mean, I imagine that you'll have questions. So what I'll encourage you to do is just, if you have questions, ask them. And I have on my to-do list to make a thumbnail. I'm going to try to do that and do it.
You can do it. Let me know if you need help or feedback, even if you have something in the works, or you want to have like A/B test. Like you're like, here are 4 ideas. Which one do you think is more catchy?
I'm not going to create 4. I can tell you that. Like I'm barely committing to do this one. I told Chris, I was like, all right, I'll post it Monday, and I'm like, I'll maybe make a new thumbnail, maybe. For it. But yeah, I'll be posting our stream from earlier today, by Monday night maybe. I have a lot, like I'm resuming my gym. I'm feeling better, like I'm like 90% back.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
I'm going back to the gym and resuming my normal gym schedule, which means that my streams, they will either be later or shorter, because going to the gym, like that's more important to me, and I spend a lot of time there, like 2-3 hours. So like
that's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. But cool, thanks. This was super helpful for me. I really do appreciate it.
All right, well then I will see you the next time I see you. And have a good rest of the weekend. Enjoy it.
You as well. Cheers, man. Enjoy your day off, I guess, tomorrow.
I'm planning to just
take
chill.
it easy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right then.
Take care, man. See ya.
Peace. Okay. Yeah, I'm tired. This is what, almost 4.5, 5 hours worth of streaming in one day. So I'm gonna go. If you enjoyed this, please consider giving the thumbs up on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, all the things. I'm out. Peace.